Welcome to Morning Devotion with Ken Gurley. Devotions designed to inspire you on your daily walk with God. Here's your host, Ken Gurley.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Devotion this Thursday morning. I hope you're well today, and I hope you've been lifting up the people in Uvalde, that community that's trying to come together after the face of great evil. But I believe even in these times, God's redemptive, and God does some amazing things in our world. So good morning. Good morning, Kathy, Candy, Linda. Let me see, I'm scrolling down. Carl, Catherine, I got twice. Jonathan, it's good to see all of you. Why has our world gone mad? Yeah, I mean, mad as in nearly insane, drinking from lead pipes. I think you're going to find this challenging today, and I can get David, Ted, CL, I can kind of get lost in this subject today because I think it explains so much. And I'm going to try to give some rationale. I'm not going to do a book report. I'm just going to give some thoughts, feelings, scriptures, share with you some observations, and I don't know, maybe it will ignite something in you. Maybe you will find this challenging, and maybe it will help you. This is a question I think that we ask ourselves in our household all the time. Why? Why is this happening? Do you relate to that? Diana, Barbara, do you relate to that? Why is all of this happening? It seems like we're seeing a cascade of just breakdowns and things happening, poor decisions. We want to know why. Why do people do what they do? Why are decisions made, I don't know, at the state and federal level that are to us so obviously wrong? Why do people educated at the finest of schools and universities with a leverage of power and authority in their hands, seemingly incredibly intelligent, why do they make decisions that boggle our minds, or more recently and very fresh on our minds? Why Uvalde? Why the rage? Why the callous disregard for humanity? Why does this world seem to be unraveling? Why? I've heard answers to that question, and so have you over the last few days, and they're good so far as they go. Isolation caused by pandemic, I think that's a pretty good explanation. Family structures torn apart, that's a good explanation. Staring at screens all day, playing violent video games, drugs, even mental issues, insanity, evil, lack of mental health facilities, normalization of rage. And it's a human phenomena to want to know why, and I think all of those are great answers and probably merit some attention, if not much attention. We want to know why. Not just how to prevent something like this in the future, because you'll never know the how until you understand the why. It was Simon Sinek wrote in a groundbreaking organizational book called Start with the Why. Pretty much says it all. We always start with the why. And if you'll permit me, I want to offer an opinion on the why. Why? Why has our world gone mad? In fact, I believe it's a single word answer. I think I can answer why with a single word. Yes, simplistic, maybe. In fact, you may totally agree with me in just a few minutes, and that's okay. But this is a single word answer to the problem that we face in our world today that is behind the rage and the violence. But I think you'll want to know more about this. I think you'll want to study this on your own. I think you'll want to pray about it. I think you'll want to search the scriptures and see if it resonates in your heart. I can promise you, Jenny, Darlene, what I'm about to say is going to go against the grain and the course of this world. Every talking head is going to disagree with what I'm about to say. Yes, because I think this world, I think few of us understand how influenced we are by the way of thinking I'm about to describe. And before I give you that single word answer to the question, why, let me describe why it's hard for us even to answer the question why. Because we've been drinking from the old lead pipes of this world for a long, long time. Why is our world going mad? Drinking from lead pipes. I want you to share this with others. I want you to subscribe to the page if you don't already. Follow the page. Because I'm going to delve into a subject today that's hard. This is a hard subject, folks, but I'll tell you this, it's mind-blowing when you begin to realize the implications. Let me set the stage by this. It was over 2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire used a tremendous amount of lead. They mined it, they smelted it, tons of lead. They used it for all sorts of things, medicine, cosmetics, utensils. The very pipes that ran water into the homes of the affluent, the wealthy, were made of lead. The cisterns, or the holding tanks for water, drinking water, lined with lead. Lead was a soft metal. It was easily shaped. It was used for nearly everything. But the Romans didn't understand its toxicity, that drinking from leaden containers and leaden pipes was like drinking death. Some historians can trace the fall of Rome, partially at least, to its abundant use of lead. Stillbirths, deformities, brain damage, sterility, all traced to the lead in their diet. Every time a Roman drank from his wine goblet, every time he sipped from a fountain of water, he ingested molecules of lead. He was drinking death, drinking poison. That was known many, many years ago. Many years ago, that you see the same phenomenon in our world. Lead paint, it was a fixture for up and through into the 20th century. People knew it was poisonous. Benjamin Franklin talked about the poison of lead paint back in the year of 1786. Internal combustion engines worked more smoothly with the addition of tetraethyl lead. It wasn't until 2000 people knew that lead was toxic even then, but we drove around with leaded gas polluting the atmosphere like crazy. It wasn't until 2000 that people finally became convinced that lead poisoning in the atmosphere was causing all manner of health issues. Yes. Why do I say this? Because we can know things are bad. We can know that they affect us negatively, but we keep sipping water from lead pipes. We keep breathing in the toxicity of the atmosphere. Yes. I'm talking, Donald, Larry, I'm just talking today. I'm talking from my heart. I'm trying to answer, why is our world gone mad? And I'm going to give you a single word answer that you're not expecting. I just promise you're not expecting my single word answer. You could go ahead. I think you'll get close. You could go ahead and start throwing answers out there. I'm going to answer that question, why is our world gone mad, in just a moment. And I'm going to give you a single word answer, and you can just go ahead and start guessing if you'd like. We got some bright folks on Morning Devotion. We have some bright folks. Pilate, sarcastically probably, asked the question, what is truth? Truth. That's the way things really are. Truth. The idea and behaviors that are right and in alignment. The objective standard by which all things could be measured. Pilate asked, what is truth. Of course, we could say that it's not a what, it's a who. That truth stood before Pilate that day. Yes. But let's go back to Pilate's things. What is truth? Truth. Truth sets free. Truth liberates us. But the exclusivity of the Christian faith, where Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, the exclusivity of that, of God being all truth, all life, all knowledge, has been undermined since the garden by the one who's called the liar in Scripture, the father of lies. The truth is not in him. Yes, he has undermined the truth. It's at the close of John's first epistle. He makes some profound statements in 2 verses. Let me just go ahead and frame this whole thing around these 2 verses today. In 1 John 5:19, let me give you the first verse, and I'll close this devotion with the second verse. 1 John 5:19. John said, we know that we are of God, and the whole world lies under the sway of the wicked one. Yes. There is the sway of the wicked one. This whole world is, metaphorically, drinking from water flowing through lead pipes under the sway of the wicked one. There is a philosophy in this world that is anti-God, anti-Christ, anti-truth. What is truth? It's anti-truth. If you examine the lead pipes, the sway of this world, you're going to find something at its core, a toxic molecule that has turned our modern world upside down. Okay, let me see if I can throw a picture of somebody up on the screen. This is Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche. Now, that's not your common name that you're going to look at, but can I just tell you, Kirk, this is a clue to the one word answer that I'm about to share with you. Why has our world gone so mad? One word. This is Friedrich Nietzsche. He lived apparently during the time he had his photo made. How's that for a detailed date of birth and date of death? He actually called himself Antichrist. From him, we get such statements as, God is dead, and we have killed him. From him and others, we're going to find the single word answer to why has our world gone mad. You see, Nietzsche is the father of a thought. He's credited as being the father of a certain philosophy, a certain way of thinking that is anti-God, anti-Christ, anti-truth. Yes, he is the father of that thought. You say, well, what is that thought? Let me see if I can get you another quote. He is the father of nihilism. Wrong button. There it is. He's the father of nihilism. Now, nihilism, according to the Dictionary of Existentialism, nihilism is defined as the situation where everything is permitted, since there are no absolutes, no presumed necessary truths necessary. There are no goals, no value that have intrinsic worth. Consequently, human life appears to be meaningless, without purpose or destiny, haunted by a bleak nothingness that no theological or rational assumptions can allay. My one word answer, nihilism. Why has our world gone mad? Nihilism. Nietzsche is the father of nihilism. Nihilism comes from the Latin word meaning nihil, or nihil is the Latin word nihil, which means nothing. Nihilism is nothingness. Nothingness. That nothing matters, nothing is of worth, nothing means anything. It's meaningless, it's valueless, it's godless. That's the lead in the water pipes. That's the sway of the wicked one. That's what we're breathing in. It's the zeitgeist. It's the spirit of the age. That your values don't matter, your life doesn't matter, truth doesn't matter, God doesn't exist, God is dead, we killed him, evil doesn't exist, good doesn't exist, truth is relative, it's subjective, it's whatever you want it to be. You have your truth, I have my truth. I mean, really, nothing matters. Why has our world gone mad? We have been drinking from the lead pipes of nihilism for a long, long time. Yes, that nothing matters. Hey, can I say it like this? Nothing is the matter. Yes, it's the nothingness of our moral world. Now that philosophy is everywhere. Now let me just test your media knowledge. There is a character in Batman that is nihilistic. I mean, let's just start with something trivial as that. That's a character in Batman that's nihilistic. You want to guess who that is? I mean, some of you Batman crazy people, I mean, you can guess it. You can guess it. Yeah. In fact, if you study the men who have played this character in Batman, who have really lost themselves, that's it, Donette. That's it, Eva. You study. I mean, look at what happened to Heath Ledger when he played the Joker. That character that marches to its own drummer, that has no rhyme and reason to anything it does. It's just, you study that dark, dark role and look at people who have played that character and get lost in that character. And you will realize the seductive power of nihilism that's in our world. Yeah. Over 50 years ago, there was an anthem. Okay, let me just test your media knowledge here, boy. You guys guessing good. You're guessing it real good. Let me just test this, your music knowledge. Over 50 years ago, the anthem of nihilism was written. Still is one of the most popular songs in the world by one of the most popular songwriters in the world. The anthem of nihilism that worships nothingness. You ready? Anybody guess? Here we go. John Lennon, imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill for, nothing to die for. No religion too. It's the anthem of our age. It's the toxic molecules from which we've been drinking a long, long time. And can I tell you what that means, where that practically goes? Nietzsche argues that if we could kill God, we could get rid of God and we could get rid of truth and we could get rid of values, then human beings could evolve into supermen. That's literally the expression he used. A superman, Oberman, a superman, a superwoman, freed from what's holding us back. Does that sound familiar? It's as old as the lie in the garden, ye shall be as gods. You see, in a godless world, every person is their own God. They can do what's right in their own eyes. The idea of nihilism is the lead pipe we've been drinking from for a whole long time. The world is under the sway of the wicked one. The whole world has absorbed this spirit of the age. In a sense, the whole world, ourselves included, we've been drinking from lead pipes, drinking and breathing in the death of a dying culture. A culture, we live in a culture of defection. The laws of God are being abandoned. The nation, which is great, and the one whose God is the Lord. The nation which is great is the one whose people are righteous. Proverbs 14. Yes. Yes. When we cease to serve God as a nation, we lose our ability to blush. We live in a culture of infection. We live in a culture of affectation, that each of us is taught to imitate the heroes and the heroines of this world, like Dinah, Jacob's daughter, who went out to see the fashion of the land. We are caught up in the look of this world. We live in a culture of defection, affectation, infection, where human life is devalued. Abortion, assisted suicide, euthanasia, violence, these mass shootings. Yes. Sexual purity is mocked. Adultery, fornication, homosexuality, pornography, traditional values destroyed, family breakup, dishonesty, materialism, sound government eroded. Anarchy is the result, because if truth is relative, faith is trivialized, the existence of God debated, then rejected, you see what's happening in our world today. You can think what the sin of Sodom was, and you can come up with an answer, but God said to Ezekiel, you know what the sin of Sodom was. It was pride, fullness of bread, and idleness. Yes. And in that haughtiness, God said, I took them away. What is to become of a society which sinks further into abominations? What's to happen to a society so blessed by God, but which chooses to forget God and to abandon truth? You don't have to look far in Scripture to find the answer to that. Paul told the Romans, didn't like to retain God in their knowledge, then he gave them over to uncleanness. You look at Psalm 2. Why are the nations so angry? Why are the people making useless plans? Why are the kings of the earth getting ready to fight against the Lord and his? Why are they saying, let's get rid of the chains that hold us back. Let's throw down the ropes that tie us down. That's what the world is. Let's just cast off all restraints. Let's get rid of it all. Yes. Why has our world gone mad? We've been drinking from the lead pipes of nihilism for so very long. It's what the Bible would call, it would call it worldliness. Yes. Do not love the world, John said, or the things in the world. If any man loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. All that's in the world, lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life, it's not of the Father, but of the world that is passing away, and the lust of it. But if you'll do the will of God, you'll stand forever. What do we do with this culture that has gone bad? This culture that gives us the mass shooting in Uvalde. Oh, you could say, well, let's just blame it on that one person. It's just that one person's action. It is a whole society that has given us this culture. Some would say we got to redeem the culture, but my Bible says Satan is the god of this world. The whole world lies under the sway of the wicked one. This culture itself is not going to be redeemed until King Jesus comes down with a new heaven and new earth. Some would say that we could enter the culture in picketing and balloting and electing, and all those things are good in part, but really, do worldly means really overturn the culture? No. Others would say escape the culture. Ascetics and monks tried that for centuries, but culture has a way of finding us. Still others say we should withstand the culture, build strong disciplines, rituals, habits, hold back the culture. And I think every one of the things I just gave you is probably good at some point in time in some way. But the reality is, we know why the world has gone mad. It's nihilism. And we know the why. And now we need to know the who. In a world that is rejecting truth, they need truth. You want to know the one world reason our world has gone mad? It's nihilism. You want to know the one word answer? It's a who. What is truth? Truth is not a what. Truth is a who. The one word answer is Jesus. You see, John ended his epistle by saying, the whole world lieth under the sway of the wicked one. That's the why. The why. The belief there is no God, there is no truth. Everything's valueless, meaningless, nothingness. That's the why. The single word answer to why is our world gone mad? Nihilism. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. When I read about that young man that committed those shootings, I see nihilism. Staring at a screen all day, just shooting people, fake people. I see nothing matters. I see it in our literature. I see it in our media. I see it in our songs. It's pervasive as lead in the atmosphere. The whole world lieth in wickedness. It's why so many human beings have given up on life itself. What does it matter? In fact, it was the catchword of Gen X. Whatever. Nihilism expressed in the catchphrase. But John didn't stop there, that the whole world lies in wickedness. Verse 20. We know that the Son of God has come and given us an understanding that we may know him who is true. And we are in him who is true, in his Son, Jesus Christ. This is the true God and eternal life. The why is the way it is, but it should always lead us to the who, the one who says, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. Thank you for being a part of Morning Devotion. Even in our absence, as you know, a group from Morning Devotion, we're over in the Holy Land, having a great time. Continue to say a prayer for us. We're trying to post live some while we're over there, but thank you for continuing to gather together, encouraging one another in the Lord in our absence soon, very soon. We're going to see you again live. May God bless you. Share this with others. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the page, follow on Facebook. We look forward to seeing you again very soon. God bless.
Thank you for listening to Morning Devotion with Ken Gurley. Join us next time for another inspiring devotion. To support this ministry, please visit firstchurch.com/give.